Are we rolling? We're rolling?
Take 12.
Are we rolling?
Lauren? Yeah. Fantastic.
I'll hold on.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Welcome to, hey girl, hey. Welcome to A&J Today. I'm Ashley.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Ashley. And this is my dear friend.
I'm Jenny.
And
today,
so today we're talking about language learning helps. And so Jenny knows a ridiculous amount of languages, which is awesome.
I just like to talk.
And she's also taught a lot. She's actually a teacher, and so that has helped.
Hungry.
Jenny knows a lot of languages. How many languages do you know?
Fluently, I think I could say like 4, maybe 5.
But you've
I'm
dabbled
picking up
in
a couple of
quite a
like
few.
3 or 4 other ones in addition to that. And a couple I've learned to read, but I have no idea what I'm reading. Like Korean, I sound like I know what I'm saying. I have no idea.
Did you pick up on your mission language easily?
Very easily.
How long do you think it took you to say that you're like comfortably able to communicate with people?
Probably about 2 weeks, maybe 3.
What? 2 weeks?
Well, yeah, you're speaking it all the time in the MTC.
Hold on.
Is that weird?
Counting the MTC?
Well, so you just start your language learning in the MTC. But remember, before I went on my mission, I was fluent in French. And I had studied like 2.5, 3 years of linguistics at BYU. And I had read a little bit in Portuguese prior to my mission. They didn't have you do all the pre-stuff like they do now, getting ready. And so I got to the MTC and I just kind of plugged it into the paradigm. Was like, okay.
Okay, so I'm about to make some of you feel a lot better right now about
Is that
yourselves.
not normal?
No! 2 weeks?
I don't know.
Okay, so I would say it probably took me a good 10 months to feel like I was super comfortable.
You know what though?
Like I could teach lessons comfortably before that, but to just be able to approach anyone and talk about like whatever, I feel like it was about 10 months into my mission. So our biggest thing like with language throughout the day was just to take flashcards with us. And whenever we heard a word that we didn't know, we'd say like, what does that mean? And we would get the, definition from someone,
right,
and then write it down immediately. So as we were walking, we would just constantly be using like flashcards, and that was one of the most helpful things. And trying to use it like appropriate things that fit, obviously, but trying to use that the next person that we talk to. It was hard for us to, nobody used the phone to call because it was just a lot more expensive than buying a certain amount of text. And so people would text you, but people abbreviated everything totally different.
You're like, what is
so
this?
You're looking at this word and you're like, I have no idea what that means.
You could work for the NSA now after that.
It was crazy. So you'd have to like try to sound it out and be like, oh, I think they mean this. Like,
that's like a monster
so that was
game
hard.
Of Mad Gab.
Yes, all of the time. That's exactly. It was crazy. And there were times that you're like, I am fluent in this and I have no idea what that message says. So you'd be like, does anyone understand this, with the other sisters in the house or whatever? And you're like, oh, that's what they're saying. Okay. So yeah. I think it also helps definitely if you have a companion that's willing to help you.
Oh, that's a huge one. So native speakers out there, please be patient with your companions who do not speak your language, because that patience goes a long way. So I want to give a couple of tips about learning language. I have the big 5 that I think make it really easy to pick up on a language. Okay. First of all, in all my years of teaching and helping students, the first thing is there are kind of, well, there's really like 4 main aspects of language. You have to be able to speak it, understand it when you hear it, write it, and read it. And so those 4 things, the first 4 parts of these 5 parts, all hinge on that. I'd say the first thing is make an effort to read it every day. That's an easy fix, an easy start, and that's the easiest place to begin, because you don't need outside help necessarily to do that.
Yeah.
And I would start with something that is a familiar text. I usually steer people to the Book of Mormon, because the Book of Mormon is versified, and I, Nephi, having been born of goodly parents, appears in every single edition, right? and you know kind of what you're reading. If you're familiar with the text of the Book of Mormon in English, you're gonna know the content and the context of what you're reading in the foreign language, and that gives you a leg up because you're
And it's
familiar
accessible.
with it.
It's
And
there.
it's accessible.
You can do it side by side.
Yep. And it's part of your purpose as a missionary is to cement and grow your testimony of Holy Writ. With LDS tools now, if you're reading the scriptures in another language, it's accessible. You just click on the little gear on your LDS tools and choose the other language, and then find the Book of Mormon in that other language. But you read every day. Probably 15 to 20 minutes. I would love it if people could read a half-hour a day. Can't hurt you, but sometimes it's harder to find a half hour.
Well, now they're required, if you're learning language, to have that hour of language study immediately after your personal and companionship study. And a lot of missionaries are tempted to use that time to go out and do other things and find people and whatever, but there's a reason that they have it, and I would highly encourage you to use that full language time.
Absolutely. Well, so that's the first thing. Read it. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes.
We hope you got something out of this. Yeah, good luck to all you on your mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're signing off. Enjoy your day. See ya!
And he's like,
we were in the middle of family scripture study, and I was like, hey, so if we remember that God promised Alma that, he could be an instrument in his hands! My husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, there was a bug crawling in his nose! Okay, anyway.
Right, yeah, you can't have a bug crawling in his nose.
No, heck no.